We actually did a study years ago about maths needed in work and so on. But there's huge critiques of courses on golf course management, and those who teach them would argue that they're actually teaching management, which is very generalizable, and they happen to take a particular context for doing it. Similarly, at a perhaps less elevated level, what we found was that, and I'm sure this is part of your literature, that the technician, the worker in a small firm acquired more general skills than if they're working, electricians working for Wimpy, where all they ever do is connect that plug to that socket. Is generalizability part of this humanizing of the work-labour thing?
I think it could be, in different ways. I think what you're saying about the specifics then leads to that kind of problem of, well, if training is incredibly context specific, and you'd want to, take that into account on the one hand, what happens if you are working for Wimpy's as opposed to a small contractor, and is that a matter of concern for anyone, and should it be a matter of concern? So on that level of are the skills generalizable? Well, not easily. Some skills clearly are, but others skills will not get, even if they're taught, they won't get learned and reinforced because they won't get used in the workplace. So you could give the same program to the person at Wimpy, but arguably they'd lose the skills in 1 or 2 years because they'd never used them. What do we do about that? So there's a generalizability of skills issue, but there's generalizability of is there something that we hold to be important in the educative function of vocational education training that has to be generalizable for citizenship, for nation building, for whatever that is. So that's kind of how it might get rephrased another way. So what do we mean by generalizable, and what do we want to hold in that?
I was thinking more of the job satisfaction as well. That they've discovered that it's better to allow somebody on a production line to make the whole car, and not just tighten that nut. And the pride of the German workforce and so on and so forth.
Although that's under threat, by the way, although it depends it's better in terms of self-actualization, but it may not be better in terms of profit margins.
Right.
And how does that then so that's a lot of what the political economy